Hello everyone. Is my voice audible? Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Okay. Today, I want to start with different topics other than this front-end technologies, whatever I'm discussing every day. Okay. I will ask you few basic questions. Okay. Regarding the IT industry. Tell me, whose salary will be more? If a person is having 5 years of experience and he will be doing development from morning 9 o'clock till evening, sometimes he will attend calls in the US hours 8 to 9, 9 to 10. Sometimes even if there are any high priority issues, he will be working midnight also. And one more person who will be manager or technical leader or technology architects or business analyst maybe, whose salary will be more? Person with 5 years of experience, or for simply I will say manager. Person with 5 years of experience or manager. Who will be earning more? Okay. Most of them are saying manager. Your answer is correct. Now tell me, manager will be having more technical skills, like whether he will be having more technical knowledge or person with 5 years of experience will be having more knowledge. Technically, I am talking. Technically, who would be strong? Of course, it is person with 5 years of experience, because daily they will be doing end-to-end development. Okay, they will be technically strong. But manager will be strong in one of the areas. I will say there will be so many qualities. Altogether, we can call it as one thing. What is that? What is that? You can say he will be having management skills. You can say he will be having good communication skills. He will be having the knowledge of how to handle teams. You can say so many things. But there is one thing. Which will make manager different from other fellow colleagues. What is that? Even there will be some people who will be having 11 years of experience and they will not get promotions. And there will be few people who will be having less than 8 years of experience maybe, and they will get promoted to manager. See, the IT industry, it is not like government jobs, okay? It is not like government jobs. If you're really good, then even with 5 years of experience, you can own your own company. You can start your own business. Okay. What is that one thing if you ask me? That is attitude. Attitude. If you have a good attitude, then only you will give some time, right? You will put some effort to learn something or to upskill yourself. And if you have a right attitude, then only you will talk to another person, right? So without good attitude, you can't do anything. You should be disciplined, and also you should put efforts, and you should give dedication to the work what you will be doing. Then only you can achieve something in life. Now tell me honestly, why are you people attending the classes regularly? I need an honest answer. For your college, you will pay some yearly fees, right? It would be around 1 lakh if it is average college, and if you're a merit student, then it would be almost like 50 to 1 lakhs, right? And you will attend the college. And they tell me you will attend classes, whether you will be listening or you will just attend. Answer me. I know most of them will be just attending for the sake of attendance. Okay. Most of them, I'm saying, not for everyone. You might say that, ma'am, you are not teaching properly. Or you might say your lecturer that you are not listening properly, you're not teaching properly. Okay, you might say this. I will give one more scenario. Your manager in the IT industry, your manager will give you some work and he will ask you to complete it within 5 days. He will ask you to complete it within 5 days. Okay. And then, since you are a fresher, you need some information from your colleagues, like senior people, we can assume, people who are in leader role. Okay. You need some help from them. You will ask for a help, they will say they will get back, and that get back will never happen. It is like HR answer. Okay. And at the finally, you will say same thing to the manager, right? After 5 days, you will tell the same thing to the manager. Okay. What will happen now? Whether manager will listen to that or not? No, he will not listen, because you're saying this after 5 days. Okay. You're saying this one after 5 days. What you would have done is, you would have asked your senior member to help you. If he is not helping, at that time only, you would have informed your manager. You would have informed your manager that is not helping me. Same thing should happen with teaching as well. For example, if you are not able to understand whatever we are teaching, it can be your lecturer or it can be your trainer as well. As of now, you can take my scenario only. If you are not able to understand, then instead of not attending the classes, you should give proper feedback. Ma'am, whatever you're teaching, I'm not able to understand it. Please change the way you teach. That's how you should do. That is the right attitude. Okay. And after listening 1 or 2 hours, if you feel okay, we're not getting anything, let's leave the class. That kind of attitude will never help you. It will never help you. Okay. Now, anyways, this course is for free, right? What if you have paid some amount for this? Anyways, you are not working. Your parents will be paying for that. It would be their hard money, right? You should never ever neglect these things. Okay. Just because it is coming for free. Now, what will happen is, it is my own experience. Now I have solid of 6 years of experience. Leave that. Okay. I can develop things on my own way. I don't need any technical help. Initially, when I was a student, I was not listening to my lecturer, and they were willing to teach. Okay. That's what used to happen in my college days. Okay. They were ready to teach, but I was not listening. Okay. And when I joined as a fresher, I was seeking for the help from everyone, from my senior people, from my senior developers, I can say. I I was able to listen. I was able to listen, but they were not teaching. That's how it will happen. That's why when you are in college or before joining any IT industry, have some basic solid knowledge. I'm not saying first day only you should be able to develop the application and deploy it somewhere. I'm not saying that. Just be strong in the basics. That would definitely help you. Okay. With that note, I will start. Always remember that point. Okay. Now teachers are ready to teach and you're not taking it, when you join the industry you want to take it, but nobody will help you there. Okay, we can start with this. Usually I don't talk other than technical stuffs. Today I thought of saying this one. Don't take it personally. Okay, now tell me what we discussed in the last class. Yes, I've given few points here. This is because these things are very important. We can access the elements using these four methods: by ID, name, tag name, and class name. Here is an example you can easily understand. By ID means we will be passing the ID. By name means we will be passing the name. And tag name is this element tag name itself. And class name is whatever we assigned for the class. Using that also we can access. And by ID means it is always single object or null. For other three scenarios, it would be array of objects or empty array. Okay. And in order to dynamically add the content, we can make use of two things: inner HTML or text content. You can see inner HTML can accept both HTML and normal text, and text content only normal text. And dynamic style. In order to add dynamic style, which property we have to set? That is style property. Okay. And then we discussed about how we can add element dynamically. So using these two things, append child and append. Append, we can add both HTML and normal text, and append child can add HTML alone. Okay. And then we discussed about write ln, why it was not giving extra lines. Because HTML will ignore all white spaces. It will ignore all white spaces. In order to avoid the HTML to ignore specific white spaces, we have to enclose that entire block with pre-tag. Then it will work fine. Okay. Then we discussed about very important thing, that how we can create elements dynamically. See, I'm giving real-time examples here. Yesterday we saw how we can create list dynamically, right? That would be the use case. I mean, that would be the real-time scenario. Usually, if you take any frameworks, or you might be coding in Angular, you might be coding in React.js, you might be coding in Vue.js. If you are coding in, you might be coding in pure JavaScript or vanilla JavaScript only. Okay, everywhere that would be the case. You will never ever hardcode anything. You will never ever add static content. Okay, all things, usually things will come from database. If you take the Amazon orders, if you check it today, it would be different. And if you check tomorrow, it would be different, right? At least there will be difference in the price. You all agree? There will be difference, right? It is not static content, right? How it will work, how it would be created? If you ask me how, this is the way it would be created. This is the way it would be created. be created. We will get the values from the database and we will directly add the elements. We will dynamically create the elements and we will add it to the HTML or web page. Okay. And we found the syntax, that is create element we should use, and then we have to pass which tag we want to create. Here I'm creating div tag, and if you just create the element, then it will be created. Then you have to specify where exactly it should be added. In my case, I added it to the body tag. See, I've given body.appendChild, and then I'm passing this one parent div. So it will add parent div to the body. Now, if I want to add paragraph inside div tag, means I should append it to the div tag, not to the body tag. Okay, this one parent tag can be anything. It can be anything. Is this clear? And there are two ways we can append values. One is append and another one is append child. Append child, as name only says, child can be only HTML elements. So you can append only HTML elements. With append, you can append both HTML elements as well as the string. You can see here. See, if I say div.append child and if I give normal string over here, then it will give error. And like this, we have this property, right? ID is equal to body. If I'm creating this body tag dynamically, then how I can set this attribute, if you ask me, using set attribute method. First parameter is what is the attribute name, and the value we have to specify in the second argument. Okay. And in the more reading section, I've created two methods, set timeout and set interval. Though these things are advanced concepts, and if you want, you can go through it. And later we discussed about events. Event is nothing but any activity on the web page. For example, if you're moving the cursor, or if you're clicking on something, if you're typing something, all are some activities. Okay. So now you are doing activities in HTML. How JavaScript will get to know you're doing some activity, if you ask me, it is using HTML events. So whenever there is an activity in the HTML page or web page, using these events, it will communicate JavaScript that some event is happening. We will call some functions on when some event happens. For example, we have a button, and on click of that, we are calling this method on button click. There we can say what operations should be done once we click on a button. Most frequently, like we will be seeing form button. When we click on form button, it should create the information in the database, right? For example, if it is student form, you will be providing the student details, and that student's details has to be stored in the database, right? So what JavaScript will do is it will extract the information, student in the details information, and would be sent to the backend for processing, and from backend it will go to database. Not only those scenarios, anything, if you want to do some other operations also, you can perform in this particular function. And there is one more event we discussed about on change event, which will happen when there is some changes in the input field. Select is also in an input field. So whenever user changes the selection, at that time this function will be called. As I said, event is a predefined object in JavaScript. You need not to declare this one. It would be having all the information about this particular element. Event dot target will give this element, event dot target, and if you want the value, then you should say event dot target dot value. Is this clear? Let's check about some more events today. I will go to the editor. I will start with key down or a key up events, keyboard events. Okay. Whenever we type something in the input value, if I want to extract that value and if I want to display it, then I can make use of this key down event. Let me show you with an example, then you can easily understand. Okay. I will say input and then type is equal to text. Then I will say on key down. Always remember when you're mentioning some events, always it would start with on key down, on prefix. Okay. If you want to know like what are all the options available, you can check in the HTML documentation. Okay. Let's add this. I will say key press. I will call some method in JavaScript and I will pass event. Let's add JavaScript over here. And I will implement this method over here. See, now I will run it with live server. You can see here, as an now I'm using keyboard. I'm using keyboard and I will type something over here. One second. There is a problem. You can see here, I've given it as target, spelling wrong. See, as soon as I type something, it is printing over here. Now you might ask me, what is the difference between on change and key press? If you ask me this, what I'll do is I'll create that function as well. I'll say this is key. And here I will say on change. This is change event. Why I'll always come with this mistake? Okay. Now I will create this. Here also same thing. I will say change event. Okay. Now change event will happen only if I'm printing, like I'm typing PQR together. Okay. PQR together and I will come back. Then only it is happening. Let me add some spaces over here so you can clearly see. See, now I'm just typing. Okay, so it is key. And then I will click outside. Now change happened. It is not printing immediately. This event will occur whenever I'm typing something and I'm coming out of it. Now what I'll do is I'll copy something from here. Now I am doing Control C operation and I'm directly coming over here and doing Control V. See, you can notice since I'm not doing key down operation here, it is not called key. You can see here. I will do it once again. Please see it. See, I will do Control C. and then Control V. See, key is nothing here. Key is nothing over here because I did Control V operation. Control V operation, it has not taken the actual value, but change always will hold the value even if it is copy paste operation. So it is based on your requirement. As soon as you type something, if you want to do, say for example, you will be having some search bar, okay? You will be having search bar, and as soon as you type something, if you want to filter the search list, then you can go for key down event. Or else you want to wait for the user to enter some values, and then you want to do the search operation, means you can go for change event. I can give the real-time example over here. See, when a person is searching here, you all know about the search bar, right? You all know about the search bar, right? You don't know search bar? What is search bar? Ping me in chat whether you know or not. Yeah, we can take this example, Google, right? See, you can see here, as soon as you type something, it is giving the options. It is giving the options. And, but as soon as you click on enter, it will actually give the websites. It will actually gives the website. So on change event, it is actually loading the website, and on key down event, it is just giving the suggestion. It is just giving the suggestion on key down. Is that clear now? And if you ask me when to use what, if you already have say you have some 100 student list, 100 number of students, okay, 100 number of students, and you want to filter among this 100 number of students, then you can go for key down event. So at this time, you will be having all 100 students information in your web page, and you will be filtering between this 100 students. And for example, there is one more scenario. You will be having some 10 million of students data in the database, and whenever user is searching something, at that time you have to get the data from the database, means you're doing some backend call, right? So if you do it every time when they press some keys, right, it would not be efficient, because backend call, if you're doing, means there will be some delay, so it will create performance issues and all. At that time you should go for change event. Is that clear? If you're filtering in the client side only, go for key down, and if you're filtering in the backend side, means go for on change event. Is that clear? And when you're doing key down event, just remember these things. You should handle Control C, Control V scenario as well. Okay, is that clear? And somebody asking, bootstrap has all these things. Yes, bootstrap has all these things because bootstrap is written using JavaScript and CSS. So of course it would be having all those things. But you should know how these events will work. For example, say you're not using bootstrap in your project. At that time, you should have this knowledge as well. That's why I'm teaching events. Okay. Then we'll like this key press key down event, right? We have key up event as well. You can explore more on that. If you know key down event, I think most of the times we will be using key down event only in the industry. If you want to explore more on key up event, you can go through that. through that. Okay, now let's explore some mouse events. What are mouse events if you ask me? Any operations if you do using mouse, it's called mouse events. For example, using mouse, see my pointer is on the settings. I'm going from year to year. This is also mouse event, and I'm scrolling down. And also I'm clicking on right click, I'm doing, and I'm doing left click, and I'm scrolling down now using mouse. All these events, whatever you do using mouse, are called mouse events. And in the industry, we will use mostly two mouse events, which are very famous. Let me teach you those two events. I will say mouse.html. I will create simple HTML file. See, I will create one div tag, and I will say I will add some lorem text, some dummy text. Okay. I will run this one. Okay. What is my requirement if you ask me? You might have seen this behavior. As soon as we come over this, like as soon as I come over this text, it would be highlighted. And as soon as I come out, it would not be highlighted. Okay. How they will achieve if you ask me? Using this mouse events. And when we over on this particular element, right, at that time, on mouse over event will be called. I will type it over here. You can easily understand. When I'm over this text, at that time, on mouse over event will be called. I will just say mouse over function. Okay. What I will do is I'll just copy this, and I will create this function. My requirement is, as soon as I over this text, right, it should be highlighted with some color. I will take it as red. Okay. So there are two options. One way is, in order to access this div element, there are two options. One is we can do get element by ID, or tag name, or class name, or what is the one more? ID, class name, and tag name, right? And name attribute. We can use any one of this. Or simply what we can do is, we can pass event to this, and here we can give any name. I will say even also. So as I said, even dot target will be having this element itself. As I said, even this event dot target will be having this element itself. Let's find it out. If I go, I will inspect it. Now you can see, I'm I will take this one down. Now I am outside. I'm going here. See, it is pointing to the div element itself. Now what I want to do is, I want to change the style of it. Correct? How I can change? Which property I have to set? It is style. And I'll say color. Let's say yellow. Let's say yellow. See? I will come out of this. See, now it is highlighting. You can notice that for the first time, see, I will just refresh over here. For the first time, it is in black text. Okay. And as soon as you hover on this, it is changing it to yellow. Okay. And when I'm outside, I mean when I go from this text to outside, it is not changing the color because we are not setting it off. When we come out, we are not resetting it, so it will always be having the same value. So is there any event when we go come out of this text? If you ask me, yes, there is, and that event is on mouse out. On mouse out, and I will say one second. The chart is hiding the content. Let me change its position. I will say this method and I will pass event. Okay. And then I will say same thing. I'll copy paste. I will reset it to black. Okay. Now we'll go and check. See? See? You can easily see, right? When I go there, it is yellow. And if I come back, it is black. We can change the color also. See, initially it would be black, and I will or on this, it is yellow. Now I'm going out of this, it is red. Yellow, red. See? Are you clear with this? Any doubts? Any doubts? If you want to see what are all the events available, say these events are specific to, like, the way attributes are specific to HTML element or not? Tell me. Tag attributes. Now, for example, source is available for image tag. Whether source is available for input? Tell me. No, right? So attributes are specific to HTML element. That you agree, right? Similarly, even events are specific to elements. For example, input might be having some events and image tag might be having some events. Let's say if you want to know what are the events available, input, events, HTML. There will be some global event attributes that would be for all, and that you can see it over here. What are all the options available? And here it is event attributes, and these are global event attributes. So it would be available for everything. I will say image events. See, here it is showing what are all the events available for image tag. If you go over here, it supports all these things. Like that, you can come and check. For example, if your requirement is to add it for image, then look for image events. If your requirement is to add it for inputs, look for input events. Okay. So here we do have attributes, and after attributes, there will be global attributes. See, you can see here, there will be some global attributes there and event attributes are available. You can just check for it. Is this clear? How you should check for all the events? And everything you can see here, everything will start with on. You can see here. on after print, on before print, on error, on online, on page ID. So everything will start with prefix on. Now, till now, we are adding the events from the HTML, right? We can add events from JavaScript as well. What is the need if you ask me? You should tell me why we already have a provision to add it from HTML, right? Why there should be an option to add it from JavaScript? Please think. You should think on everything. Like if they're providing something, you should analyze why it is required. I will say JavaScript events, and I will say, okay. For example, if you are creating the element dynamically, at that time you require, okay. And also you're adding the events based on some condition, means then at that time also it is required. Okay. For example, say on click of that button, whatever user has inputted, you want to show it in some separate div, means that one you have to do it based on user selection, means you require that. Let me give that option like example to you. You can easily understand why it is required. First, I will add script tag, and here I will add one button. Okay, I'll say submit, and here I will add input. Okay, here I will add input, and I will say type is equal to text. Sorry, ID is equal to some ID. I will give input 1. Okay, and for the button also I will give some ID, button 1. Now first we'll try to understand what is the syntax. What is the syntax? Then we'll understand why it is required. Okay, so I'll say document dot add event listener. We have to add it to the button. Okay, so first we have to get this button reference. How I can get it? By ID. Get element by ID, and I will pass this reference button 1. And once we get it, using add event listener, we can achieve it. Just see the syntax. First is we have to say which event. If it is HTML, then we have to add the on prefix. If it is JavaScript, we should remove it. So it for click, it is instead of on click, it is just click. Okay, and then here this syntax. Here, if you want to pass some arguments, you can pass it from here. Say I want to pass event, and then this is a syntax for creating a function, anonymous function. Here name will not be there. If you ask me what is the name of this function, name is not there, right? If you ask me what you know the meaning of anonymous, right? Anonymous means person with no name. Like this, it is anonymous function with no name. So this particular function will be called, and this is the arguments, and this is the syntax for anonymous function. And here we will say console.log button clicked. Let's take this example. Okay, now we'll go and check. I will run it, and I will open inspect. See, button clicked. It is getting called. If it is like you can see here, if if it is printing same thing, it would just say how many times it has printed. Okay, fine. If I keep on increasing, then it is done. Are you clear with the syntax? If you are clear with the syntax, then I will tell you what is the use case. What is the use case, if you ask me? Why we have to add it dynamically? Clear with the syntax? Any doubts? Any doubts? Is it looking strange? I know for the first time, if you see it, might, but this is the syntax which this is the syntax for adding events in JavaScript. We should remember this. If you just remember the syntax, later if you want to change it to change event, then it is very easy. Instead of click, you should change it to change. And here we have to pass the correct element reference. Only that is the difference. Now, if you ask me why we have to add it in JavaScript, if you check the advanced concepts, there are some concepts like event capturing, event bubbling, and all. If you are interested, you can go through that. But if you take the basic scenario where it would be using this to add this event dynamically. For example, what I will do is I will create some checkbox here. I will create some checkbox here. Oh, what I am doing? Input type is equal to checkbox. Okay, and it is there. Now what I'll do is I will say checked. See, it is checked now. Okay. Now what I will do is I will add this one conditionally. What is that conditionally? You will get to know. ID is equal to check one. Okay, and I will get the reference of checkbox. Get 1 second. Get element by ID. What is the value? It is check one. Okay, now I will print this dot value. See, it is on now. If I want to give some default value, then how I can change it using which property? Now by default it is on or off, right? If you want to give some value, you can give it using value attribute. Now what I will do is I will add this event only if it is on. I'll say if checkbox is on, then only add this event. I will put it over here. Now what I'll do, I'll save this and I will go. If I click on this, now it is executing. Now what I'll do is I'll just remove this. Okay, I just remove this. 1 second. What happened? By default it is taking. Why it is going here? Let me check why it is going here. Okay, by default it is on. I'll say set it as value is equal to off. Okay, now we'll see. Value is off now. Now see, I'm clicking on the submit button and nothing is happening. Now I will set it to on. See, now if I click on this, it is clicking on. I'll say checked. Instead of this, see, now it is checked. That's why it is working fine. I will say checked is equal to false. Why it is not checking? I'll say value is equal to off. Now, if you see here, if it is off, then it is not triggering this event. Is this clear? In order to dynamically add the events, we can add it from JavaScript. If you from HTML, it is not happening, right? Like for example, using HTML alone, I can't add this event dynamically, right? But with JavaScript, I can add it. Okay. Any doubts? Any doubts? Next thing is, see, now I do have a HTML page. And I will give some value to this. Let me add one add file called index.html. I'll say storage.html because I will be talking about storage now. That is browser storage. Okay. And then I will add this value. And I will say input type is equal to text. And then nothing. I will go back. I have some value here. I will say word. Okay. Now value is present. Okay. Now value is present. Okay. And now I will refresh. See, value gone, right? So what is my requirement is, even if I refresh the page, I want the value to be here. So if I want my page to hold some value, means I have to store it somewhere, right? Because when I am refreshing, it will reload the web page. I mean, it will reload the HTML. If we reload whatever information we have stored, it would be gone. In order to store this value, we can make use of browser storage. What is that browser storage, if you ask me? I will show you in the inspect mode, but don't get confused. Now only I'm saying, if you take any browser, there will be storage option. See, now you can see it over here. I do have so many options: workspace, WhatsApp, home, and all. Order management, Amazon.in, ExcelR, everything is there, right? So how it has been stored? Even if I close the browser and if I come back, those information will be available, right? And also, if you check my browser history, see, there are so many options available. These things has to be stored somewhere, then only I can use it, right? What is this things, if you ask me? It would be stored in the browser storage. Even if you close it, it would be available there, and later when we come back, we can make use of it. That's how Chrome will work. And also it would suggest you based on your googling things, right? The topics you search more frequently, it will suggest you based on that. How it will happen? Whenever you are surfing something or whenever you are browsing something, those information will be available in the browser storage. Okay. And there are different types of storage available. It Some will store in cache. Okay. So all this history and all would be stored in cache. And your personal information, for example, when you are searching from Bangalore, you can see down your Bangalore address will be there. And if you are searching from Mysore, your Mysore address will be there. And all this location, personal information and all would be stored in cookies and all. Okay. And there is one more concept. There are two more storages. One is local storage and session storage, which we can use for the development purpose. We can store some information there, and so that even if you reload the page, those informations would be present. And maximum we can store up to 10 MB only. Okay. And as I said, there are two different storage which we will be using for the development purpose. Okay. One is local storage and another one is session storage. Both will be having same methods and functionalities. Both are same. Only difference is local storage will be there forever. If you uninstall Chrome, then only it would be gone. If you uninstall completely the browser, then only it would be gone. Or if you manually clear it, then only it would be gone. And it would be there every time. Okay. And session storages, it would be there for a particular session. And this session will vary from browser to browser. In Chrome browser, it might be 1 week. In Firefox, it might be 10 days. It's like that. It would vary from one browser to another browser. So after that session, you will not be able to see that information. Local storage, it is not like that. It would be there. It would be there until and unless you delete the app or you manually clear it. Okay. So in the if you have if you consider any projects or something, right? First time you will make API or backend call to get some information. And after that, say you have 5 HTML files. Okay, 5 HTML file is there. When you navigate from one HTML file to another HTML, the information would be gone, right? Do you agree? Information would be gone, right? Say, let me see this. Let me take this example. What I will do is, I will say storage1.html. Storage1.html. Here, what I will do is, from here, I will provide one anchor tag. Show entered information. Show entered information. And here, on click of this, I will navigate to storage1.html. Okay. Storage1.html. And here I will create one thing. In this field, I want to show that information, info, or I will say information. And then I will add one tag over here. So within this tag, it should show the information. Now we'll see. See, I will enter world here. As soon as I go to this show entered information, it is a separate page, right? So how another page will be knowing whatever they've entered there. If it is same page, then we would have got it from JavaScript and then we would have added over here. In the last example I showed you, whenever we are typing something over here, in the next tag we can display it. Let me show that one quickly. I will say here I will be having one div tag or h1 tag only, and I will say id is equal to info1, and then I want to display it over here. So what I can do, script, and then here whenever there is a change on change event, and I will pass event to this, and event dot target will be having the target dot value will be having the value. I'll create one function quickly. These things you already know, that's why I'm writing it faster. Okay, and I'll just for my reference I will just, oh, what I did, nice. Okay, and then I have to assign to this. So I'll say document get element by id. One second. Get element by id. What is the id? Info1. And then this one inner HTML or text content, whatever it might be. This should be event dot target dot value. Whenever there is some changes. Whenever there are some changes. Okay. Now if I go and check, I will type world. Okay, and I will come back. See, it got printed over here. I will change it to allow. I will give some random text. Whatever I am giving over here, it will come. But if I want to access it over here, do you think I will be accessing, I can access this value there in storage1.html? Tell me. Tell me whether I can access this event target value there in storage1.html. No, right? How can we do that then? Using this local storage. First, I will say what are all the method available. How we can set some value in local storage, if you ask me. We can say local storage dot set item. Local storage, you need not to declare it. It is already available. You can give any name. In my case, say input one information. I'm giving some ugly name so that you should understand that it is not some. You should not feel like this is the name which you have to give. That's why I'm giving very ugly name. You can give any name. Okay, and then you can set the value. I'll say value, any value. Okay, so let's do that. And here how I can do local storage set item. Here value is what? Event dot target value. Okay, and then in storage one, instead of h1, I will take different name over here. I'll say info2, and here I will add some script tag. So as soon as we navigate over here, we have to get the information from the here local storage, and we have to set it to info2, right? And what is the value? How I can get it? If you ask me, it is very simple. Val is equal to value or any name you can give. Like we can set the element using set item, and you can get the element using what? Get item or get element of. If you ask me, it is instead of a set, you have to say get item, and you have to pass whatever key you have specified while setting the name. And if it is not present, then it would say null. Okay, so I will just copy this and I will paste it over here. Now if I go and add this, I will say val. Okay, now we'll go to that file. I'll change something over here. See, now if I go here, see, that information is available. I will refresh. Now I will directly go to the last file. Now EAFD is there, right? I will go to EAFD. Now information is EAFD. Now if I refresh, even if I refresh also, it is giving the same value. But in storage one, if I take storage.html file, if I now if I give some value like this, and if I refresh, that would be gone, right? That would be gone, right? But if you access storage one, it will always be holding that value. How, if you ask me, here you are getting it from, here info one, you are getting it from whatever value is available in this input. And when you refresh, that input value would be gone. But in storage one, you are getting it from the local storage. It would always present. It would always present. And somebody is saying script is outside body. As I said, HTML will not think about syntax much. If I just give ABCD also, it will work fine. But it is always good practice to maintain the structure. So it is always good practice to add it below, like before this body tag ends. Even if you do that way also, it will work fine. It will just execute line by line. Are you clear? Are you clear? And what if you want to set it one more time? If you ask me, same thing. You can set it with different values. Set item, same key, and then value. And if you want to remove the item, I mean, if you don't want input one information, and if you want to remove it, you can do it using remove item. Remove item, and you have to specify the key name. Now what I'll do is, I will clear this value before accessing. Okay. Let me comment this out. Let me comment this out. I will go to storage one. See, still the value is there. I'm refreshing multiple times. You can see here, this still value is there. Now what I'll do is, I will remove it and then I'll try to access it. See, value gone now. And even if you comment this, it's already gone, right? So you can't get it. And like this, you can set multiple items. It is key value pair. Now you will say input one information and you will add some value. You might say input two information and you can add multiple values like this. There is no restriction that you have to add only one item. It is not like that. You can add multiple items also. Like you can add one more information, say input two information. Since remove items remove single element, if you want to clear everything, then you can use clear. Clear will eliminate everything. I mean, it will clear all items. Input one info also it will remove it. Input two information also it would remove. Is that clear? Is that clear? Any doubts like why we are using local storage and all? Similarly, like local storage, session storage is also same thing only. We will be having same all methods similar to local storage. Only one difference is local storage, as I said, if you uninstall only, or if you clear it manually only, then only information would be removed. Either clear it or uninstall Chrome itself. Okay. But session storage is not like that. Session storage will be there for some time. Like it can be, it would differ from one browser to another browser, and even like version wise also it would be different. For Chrome it might be 2 weeks, for Firefox it might be 3 weeks. It's like that. Okay. So that is the only difference between session storage and local storage. Okay. It is like you're storing some information in your Notepad plus plus. Okay. Anyways, Chrome is installed in your browser. Sorry, Chrome is installed in your laptop. And for Chrome, there will be some memory allocation, right? Memory allocation, right? Inside Chrome folder only it would be created. And we can't set the time of session for browser. It is not. It is not in our hand. Okay. Don't worry, guys. This is just a normal notes. You might have seen in ExcelR LMS, the notes what I would be providing will be having all the points, all the required points. It is not the final points. Don't worry. It is just for your reference. While teaching, whatever important things are there, I'm just giving it over here. Okay. And I will. Okay. This is fine now. This is fine. I will take one more advanced concepts, storing different values. This is very important. Please listen to me. This is very important. Please listen to me. See, using local storage, I said I can store values, right? I will say var string value. Sorry, I will give some script tag over here. I missed it. This is extra things. Let's remove this. Not required. It will make our code lengthy. Where string value I will say. Okay. String value. And I will say some my favorite cricketer Sachin, and then I will store it in local storage. Set item. Set item. I will say just name. Okay, you can give any name, and I will pass it. Now I will print the value. Local storage. What function I have to use? It is get item, and then name. Okay. Now we'll see. See, if you see here, it is Sachin. And if you say type of, sorry, it is string. Okay. Now I will repeat the same thing. And I will, this time I will pass some numbers. Okay. I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will say num. And I will pass this value. And this time it is num. Now we'll see what is the type. See, it is string again. It is string again. Now, what is the next value? Boolean I will take. Okay. And then I will say bool. This one I'll copy. And then I'll copy Boolean value. This one also treating as string only. Now you might have understood what is the drawback. With this storage, whatever elements we are storing, the value we are storing, everything would be considered as string only. Everything would be considered as string only. So if you want to store other operations, after storing, you can, after storing num and bool, you can change the like type and all that you can do. But let's take one more example. I want to store student object. Same thing I will repeat. Name Sachin, and I will take only 2 attributes. Age, well, okay. Now I want to store this. Now I want to store this. Observe properly. Observe properly. Sorry. I'll say it as student object only. Now if you see, it is also string. It is also string. How it has converted? Let's remove this. Now you understood everything would be string only. See, it is object of object. This is not we expected, right? For example, if I directly print this way, what would be the value? See, this is how it is there, object, object. Now, object itself has, it is string. I mean, this is a value. For example, how I can explain you is, it is converting like this and it is printing. Understood now? It is taking the value as object. That's, it is treating that way. We don't want these things to happen. How we can avoid that? How we can store objects? Mostly we are concerned about storing objects and arrays only, right? How can we do that? Anyone knows? Anyone knows any idea? No. Yeah, we can store it as student object name in one variable, student.age as one variable. I don't want to do it. For example, say you have an object with 10 attributes. 10 attributes. Then are you going to create 10 different items and are you going to store it? No, right? Now I will give you one syntax. Two functions I will give it. Okay. Trust me, if you are a front-end developer or full stack developer, two options, front-end developer or full stack developer, you will be using these functions every day, irrespective of which framework you're going to work. It can be Vanilla JS. Vanilla JS is whatever we are learning now, and then Angular or React JS or Vue.js. So what we have to do is, syntax is very easy. First, you have to convert this object into string and then you have to store it. How we can do it? If you ask me, convert object into string. If you don't convert, you saw it will print something like this. This is how it will convert. We don't want JavaScript to convert this way. So we will only convert it and then we'll send it. How, if you ask me, it is using JSON. See, this key value pair, we will call it as JSON structure. JSON, you will get to know you when you start learning about backend, right? At that time, you will get more information. Just remember that JSON is also similar to object only, and it would be having key value pairs. Okay, JSON dot stringify, and you have to pass object. You have to pass object, and I will say where object. Okay, now I will do the same thing over here. Instead of student object, I will say student object 1. 1 second. Okay, now we'll see. Here I have to pass object. That's why. See, it has converted. Now if you see what is the type. Now what I'll do, anyways I'm getting this one, right? I will try to find out name. I will try to find name. Is this possible? Say yes or no. What is the output of get item? Which data type? Which data type? What is the output of get item? It's a string data type, right? With string data type, can I access name? See, it is undefined. It is undefined. So while storing, we converted from object to string, right? When we are retrieving, after retrieving, so get item return type is what? String. Now we have to convert string into object. Then only we can access it. I will say convert string into object. How can we do that if you ask me? This is also very important thing. Converted object, I'll say JSON dot parse. Parse will convert from string to object, and stringify will convert from object into string. Always remember this. It is very, very important. It is very important because get item, it would be always be string only. You can set string and you can get string only. So you, while adding objects, always remember you should use this stringify and parse option. I will say local storage. I will pass this argument. I will pass this argument, which would be string, and now it converted. And now if I try to access it, see, this is how you should do it. This is how you should do it. Always remember this. Whatever I've told you so far, these concepts, it is very, very important. It is very, very important. JSON stringify and JSON parse. It is very important. You can give 10 star also. Even if you have 5 years of experience, then you can expect these questions. You can expect these questions. Stringify and parse, JSON parse and JSON stringify. Since I will be covering next 2 days, I will be doing project, right? So I said it is a solid project. For solid project, if you don't have some important topics or some important advanced topics, it will not help you. Like we can't implement the project. That's why I've added this one in the course. So remember this. Now we know how to store object. Now we'll try to see how to convert, how to store array. First we'll see how to store arrays. What I'll do is I will create student list that would be having 2 objects. Okay, this is one object, and I will say, okay, I'll just say Dhoni. Okay, now I want to store this. How I can store? We'll see. I'll store it as it is. Local storage, set item, and then I'll say student list. See, now I am doing operations with local storage. Same operations you can do it with session storage as well. No difference, no syntax difference and all. And save this student list. And finally, let's get it. Now tell me whether it will work or not. Storing array, whether it will work or not. Why it will not work? See, this is how it has taken. This is like, don't assume it has some objects and all. It is like this. Let me show you. It is like this. If you have some string with these values, right? This is how it has taken. Because it is not string. Student list is not string. You can tell me, ma'am, we can convert it into stringify and then we can store. It is not possible. Why? Student list is what data type? Array. It is not object. Let me try it out. Why to argue with you? Directly I can do. I'll say student list 1. I will do it in single line because you have already understood the logic. Stringify, and then I'll pass student list 1. Sorry, student list, and then I will get it. Okay. See, one second. See, it has stored it. Now what I'll do, I will access it. 0. See, 0 means it is taken string index. Let me show it in separate line. Okay. If I print 0, I will add extra braces also for your convenience, so that you will get to know first we are getting and then we are accessing. See, this entire thing is considered as string. That's why if I do 0 index, then it is giving me this bracket. This is not I required, right? This is not what I required, right? What can we do now? Now only saying we don't have anything apart from this stringify and parse. Give me some solution. Give me some solution. You people should think. I've already like explained you the basics. At least you should tell me the thinking or simply sitting. You know, I will say that's why you're sitting simply. Yeah? Don't say I will create for this subject. I will create one item, and for this subject I will create one item. If you have 1,000 items, then will you create 1,000 items? No, right? It is very easy, guys. Let me show you. I will create one variable called subject, anything, subject, and then inside this I will say values or any variable you can give, and here I will store student list. Here I will store student list. Now it's an object. Now it's an object. Now I can store this one, right? Agree? Now we can store this one, right? As object I can store, right? I'll say as object. Now first part is done. We are storing it. Now how to get it if you ask me? How to get it if you ask me? Where yes list I will take, and then local storage. I will give different name over here. Okay. To so get item will give it in string. In order to convert it into object, what we have to do? Parse. Parse. So now if you see list, what is list? Whether it is my list or not, or array or not. Answer is no, because we are storing inside values, right? So after parsing it, get values. And now if you see, I've successfully saved the array. How, if you ask me, I will say array index. This time it should not give me square bracket. See, it worked. See, for tomorrow's project, these things are very, very important. Now only I'm saying. So since I will be having 2 days, I might go a little bit fast, because if finally on Friday, if I get some time, I will give some idea about like I will give you some roadmap, what you should do next. After learning this, what you can do, what all the options will be there. Those ideas I want to give. So if you stuck with this concept only, right, then I can't cover all those things. It's up to you. If you finish soon, then I will explain more. If you take for that only, if you take more time, then I can't finish everything. Then I might have to skip few topics. Okay, are you clear with this? Anyways, I will be giving the notes. Please go and check or watch. This would be streamed in YouTube, right? Watch these things and try to understand. Is that clear? Is that clear? Any doubts? Or are you getting it or not? Yeah, I can completely understand. I can completely understand. It will take some time to learn. It will take some time to learn. See, I said even for 5 years of experienced candidate, right? They will be asking these questions in the interview. So just try to understand how much it is important. Try to understand how much it is important. Okay, just watch this video again. Watch this video again, because all these things are very important. Watch this video again. You will be able to get it, and practice it. Practice it. Set some item and get it. Try to get it. You should be able to get it. If you know how to store object and also how to store array, it should be enough. Okay, don't get now you might get confused, but watch it once again. You will be clear. Understood? Yeah, if you just remember this one, it is enough. Set item, get item, remove items. Why I'm setting it again means if you want to update, you can update it, or if you want to add one more, you can add it and clear. Only these four methods you have to remember. And in the value part, if it is object or array, then do JSON stringify, and while getting it, do JSON.parse. Only this syntaxes, only four methods, six methods should be you should remember. I will be giving the notes. I will be giving the notes. Every points I will give. Don't worry. Whatever I will be explaining, I will be giving. Okay. Okay. Finally, I will give some exercise now today. Now, like at 9 9 5 like that, I will give one exercise, and if you solve that, you can easily understand it. Now we'll say exceptions and JavaScript. If you take any language, right, we have to make sure that we will handle the exceptions properly. Okay, so I will give one example. What is that and all? What is it and all? I'll try to give it. What do you know by exceptions or exception handling? Anybody in the class? What do you know about exceptions? I'm not getting proper answers. What will happen if we don't handle exception? Tell me. At least tell me. You should at least try to answer it. I will give simple example. Okay. Now I will add few lines, random lines I'm adding. Okay. B is equal to 1, where C is equal to 2, where D is equal to 3, 4. And then finally I will add, in between I will add G is equal to 6, 56. Okay. It is one case. Just observe properly. And finally I will print console.log C. Okay. Now we'll run this. What will happen now? Should give the exception rate why it is. Instead of C, I have declared G. I add strict type. How come G is printing over here? One second. Let me enable stick typing over here, because even without declaration, it is able to access it. Why it is happening? It should not happen. Let me check why. Let me try to create another external file. It should give the exception. Why it is not working? Let me try to find the answer for this. Even without declaring any, without giving keyword, it should not work. It should give the exception. Let me check on that. Let's not waste the time by checking that one. See, now I have not defined G over here. Okay, that's why it is giving exception. G is not defined. And below that, I will give some statement over here. Some important execution. Okay, and if you see here, this block, just consider that. See, this part, just consider that this particular line 3, it is very, very important. Okay, and because of the second line, what is happening is it is failing over here and it is not proceeding further. If I add multiple lines also, it would be the same case. See, nothing got executed. So whenever we are in a doubt that this particular here I'm just logging G, just assume you might be calling some backend and backend has stopped. Okay, and backend is not running. At that time, if you do it, and if the execution stopped over here only, after this we do have some important execution. It will what will happen is it will shut down completely. I mean, it will stop it over here only. It will not execute further. In order to avoid this condition, wherever we feel, wherever we feel exception can occur, exception can occur, we should add it with, we should add it with try catch block. What is this try catch block? I will explain now. So for example, calling API when it is not running, reading file where file itself not present. Okay, so these kind of operations, I can give plenty of this. So these are the example. At this time, what we have to do is we have to enclose it within try block, and we have to cache the exception. If you just enclose it, then it would not work. You can see it is saying you should add catch block. Now I will say error. Since it is dynamically typed language, we need not to specify what is the type. Okay, and here we can print the error. We can give any name. I'm saying error, you can give error also. Okay, I will go back. See, it is printing over here. It is not in red color. It is not in red color because I'm doing console log here. If I don't do it, then it will execute normally, some important execution. It has not stopped other execution. Okay, understood now, like what is the requirement of try and catch block? Understood? We can give any name. Even if I give W, this one also it will work. Okay, it would be better. It would be better if I give some random error. Whenever you feel, whenever you feel this block can cause some exception, at that time you should enclose that block with try, and then you should catch the exception. Okay, and later you can add some more blocks. Otherwise what will happen is, it will stop over here only where the exception happened, and it will not run other stuffs. Okay, and some of the examples are calling API. For example, if we're calling the API and it is not running, means then also exception will occur, and it will stop other execution. And if you are trying to read open file or read file, that itself is not present, means that then also exception will occur. Okay, so then we have, in addition to this, we do have finally block, which is an optional, which is optional. I will here only I will say finally is optional. If you don't specify, when you add try, catch is mandatory. Okay, when you add try, catch is mandatory, finally is optional. Here you can do the cleaning process. For example, here you might have opened I will give the example here. You might have opened some file. You have opened some file. Due to some exception, due to some exceptions, it stopped in between. Okay. Now, if you don't close the file, then it will not be available for other processes. For example, if another process, you can assume it as you want to open it manually, then that is also not possible because of this, if you don't close the file. Okay, that's why we should close it. So in the finally block, you can close the file if it is irrespective of success or error. Even if it is success, you have finished the reading. So you should close it. Okay, if it is error, even though it is error, you have to close it. So next time you can open it. Okay, is this clear? Is that clear? Any doubts? Okay. And there are some cases where we have to give some exceptions manually. For example, here it is saying product ID information we are providing, right? Some product ID you can assume. And then we have this function method. Okay, let me create that function quickly. I will not take much time. I have to show you the project which I will be starting with tomorrow. So here I will say val is equal to e dot target dot value. Okay, and if value is empty or null, I can say if it is not true value, if it is not true, see, val means it will check for true condition. Not val means it will check for false condition. If the value is false, then I will say throw new error. It is not from the JavaScript. We are throwing it. Product ID is empty. Okay. And if it is correct, then I will say in the else block, not in the else block, because since we are throwing here, it will stop. So I will say console.log, or I can add some alert, product saved, something like this. Let's try to check this. Say for example, you are creating the product, and if you are not providing the value, I will say this, okay, product saved. Now what I will do is I will just empty the value. See, product ID is empty. Okay, did you get it? Or we can manually throw the error. In this case, I am throwing it when the product ID is not present. In your case, based on your requirement, you can throw it whenever you need it. Is this clear? Any doubts? Any doubts? If no doubts, then I will be showing, like, from tomorrow what things we will be covering. Okay. Yeah, I always have the habit of opening it in inspect mode. Sorry. So this is a project we will be covering tomorrow. From tomorrow. So here, say I have a shop, and I'm the admin of the shop. I'm the owner of the shop. I can add orders manually, right? I can add order, and I can update order, and also I can delete items. For example, if I'm owning the shop, then whenever there's a new dresses or something, or anything, you can take anything, you can take car or something. I'm doing some resale operation, just assume like that, like OLX. Okay, whenever I'll get some new item, I will just add it, and then whenever I sold it, I will remove it. And if I want to update some information, I will update it, and it is like that. Okay, so let's try to understand. So basically, if you see any application, I will compare it with Amazon only. I know it is not that much, but see, we'll see. Okay, here basically, if you take any website, there will be menus like this. There will be menus, and also finally there will be footer. If you consider any website, this will be there. Header will be there, as well as footer will be there. In the footer, we will be having some informations like contacting, and also contacting to the go to the Facebook, and this information would be there, like Twitter. Okay, this Twitter and all, I've not linked that. So this information would be available. And in the header, we can navigate between the menus and home page. This is called home page. As soon as we load, so for example, if you consider Amazon, this is the home page. And if you go to this one, then it will show buy again page. And if you go to mobiles, it will show you the buy again page. Okay, this is how it would be. So in our case, mainly we are concerned about creating the items, updating the items, and deleting the items, and viewing the items. Okay, so I'll go to view item section, and here I can see all the items available. Let me do get items. Somehow it is not working. Let me see. Okay, let's create some items. I will say 1 2 3 3. Order name, I will give it as order 1, and I will choose file. I can have some sample images. Let's, I'll try to find it out. Uh, yes, I have some sample images, and I will add some dummy description. Let me copy it from here only. See, I have this description. I'll copy it from here, and I will submit. So now it gave me order successfully created. Now if I go and check, see, it has created this order. Okay, now I will go one more time, and I will say 4375, and I will say this time order 4, and I will select some other image, and then I will copy the same description, and it has been created. And if I miss something, then it should show please fill out this field. Now I will add it, and I will say order 3, sorry, order 6. And also if I don't give this, then it should say okay, please fill out this. And if I give few words, then it should say okay, it should have at least more than 50 characters. Now I will copy the same thing over here. Okay, what happened? Okay, my local storage is full. That's why it is giving me this error. Let's try to check this one only, and we'll come back. Because as of now, I stored some values in the, while taking local storage example, I stored some values, right? If it is more than 10 MB, it will stop working. That is a drawback. If you see here, I've successfully created 2 um, items over here, and I can download it. If I download it, I'm opening this one. I can view this image, and also if I go to update item, then if I get this option, there will be 2 options. Here you can see it in the grid view, and here you can download it, or else you can preview it. Preview it means you need not to download, it will just open it in another tab. And if you want to open this one, you can just check it over here. Okay, and if you want to update some information, if I'm not liking the description, I can update. For example, if I'm not liking this image also, I can update. Usually if you same Karki. Okay, usually you can't in any case you can't update order ID. That's why you're not able to update it. I can't update this one. And you can change the order name if you want, and also you can change the description also. I'll say description, and then I'll copy the same. I just want 50 characters. That's why I'm adding some random text. Now if I click on update, still some more needed. I'll click on update. See, order updated successfully message came up, and you can see here, as soon as I updated, it changed the description and all, and you can see it over here. Now it is showing different text, and also same thing can be seen over here. It has been updated. You can see description, this one, and there is one option called delete items. And if you come over here, it would be having same options like images, everything would be present. And if you want to delete it, see, this is how we are using this prompts. Starting we used alert, right? Alert pop-up. Alert pop-up means order created successfully. It is some information, that's it. When you're deleting something, you have to give the confirmation. If you say cancel, it will not do anything. And if you say okay, it will just see you got the confirmation message saying 12233, this order has been deleted. And now if you see, only one element is there, and if you go back and see, there's only one element. As of now, since my storage is full, I'm seeing only one item. If you have like multiple items, right, it will show one by one, and it will look very nicely. Okay, this is the page, and you will be having some options here. Here we can provide some more information, and this one I've kept it as it is. This one would be assignment for you guys, how we can do it. Remaining things I will be covering. Okay, these things we will be starting from tomorrow. And okay, and we can change the images and all as we proceeding. And always and remember one thing, I will not be giving the source code of this project. If you want it, just attend it. From tomorrow, no notes. Okay, today will be the last day where I will be giving the notes and reference materials. I will not give notes tomorrow and day after tomorrow as well. And day after tomorrow, after completing this project, if we get some time, we'll discuss some roadmap items. Is that clear? Now I will give you the exercise. 1 second. This day 12. exercises. See, you yesterday we created one HTML file, right, where user can input some values like name, semester, age, and introduction, right? And using JavaScript, we found out the values. Using JavaScript, we found out the values, and we printed it in the console. We did that much yesterday, right? Say yes or no. Yesterday you did that much, right? Please ping no. Only one person is pinging multiple times. Yesterday you submitted a form and in the form it displayed this information, right? Now what is my requirement is, as soon as you should create one array called student list. Okay, as soon as you submit this form data should be created as object. I mean, the object should have this name, sem, age, and intro property, and this one should go to list. Array operations, you can use push and all to add it to the array. And then we should if you skip local storage and array should be saved in local storage, as of now it is fine for me. I will just comment this one. You need not to do this, it would be very thing. So as soon as you submit it should add it to the student list. And finally, below this form you should show one table as well, that will be having name, same, sem, and age, and introduction columns. Okay, and in the body, like table body, it should, as soon as you add it, it should add this rows with this information, name, age, and all. Dynamically it should change. For example, when you create first record, it should add one element, one row to the table. And if you when you create second record, it should add one more element, like one more row, like that. It should keep on growing. Okay, so this is the exercise. Let me save it and I will share it in the chat. And yeah, I'm noticing that since I am giving exercise solution also, people are leaving the class and then they're trying to do. This time what I will do is I will not be giving the exercise solution later. I will just solve it in the class. If you want, you can attend. Otherwise, you can leave. Okay. I will attach this document. 1 second. I will change it to day 2 and exercise. I've shared it. Just try it now. I will give 15 minutes of time. Try it and come back. And later I will solve the same thing. And if you have a question and any questions or concern, right, I will answer to your queries as well. Okay. Try it for some time. It is worth trying. Okay. Because these things are advanced concepts. You're dynamically adding the content. So if you try it for 15 minutes in the class itself, it will pay you later. Definitely it will pay you later. It is not, I'm not wasting your time. Go to the exercise text, whatever I've shared, you'll get to know. Anybody who's able to get the output? Please ping in chat. %70%. Krishna Mohan is saying he has completed 70%. See, tell me, I have asked you to do the coding based on the concepts, whatever I've explained so far, right? Just now I explained, and those things only I asked you to write it. At least from Monday, whatever I explained, right? Those concepts only I asked you to write it. And you're not able to do it means it is not like you're a student and you're not able to do it. It is not like that. What you people are not doing is after the class, you're not trying out the things while explaining. When I'm explaining, right, when I will be explaining, you feel it is simple. Okay, but when you actually try it, it will not be. So that's why I will tell you, give 100% concentration, give 100% concentration during the class. And after that, you should give some effort to try it. You should practice more. Okay. Where you are facing the issue, tell me. Ping me in chat. You know how to create table, right? You know how to create table. So we have an event. When you click on the button, at that time you should create dynamically row, right? You know how to create rows dynamically. If you know all these things, then why you're still able to not do it? I'm taking some time to do it, ma'am. Yeah, you can take your time. I've already given 15 minutes. Shall I do it now? Shall I do it now, or you want to try it for some more time? I know only less participants are there. Only less participants are there. I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen? Are you able to see VS Code? Are you able to see it? I'll go to the exercise part. Okay, what is the first requirement? Create one array called student list. Okay, that is my first requirement. This is the way we create a student list, right? Okay, and I want to create it outside because I don't want to create it inside this method. So this is my first what? First task I can say. Okay. On click of submit, it should add data to array, right? So what is the data? I asked you to create the object of these values, name, sim, age, and intro. And this one should be added to the array. How we can do? Why you people are not interacting? I'm not understanding. See, already people have left. I know only those who are interested are there in the class. That's why I'm taking more time. Tell me how to create the object with these values. It is very simple, right? Now I'll do one thing. I think it's enough. I will just solve it in 5 minutes. Then you will only understand how simple the requirement was. Okay. So it is sem and then sem value. I'll say age. I'll say age dot value. And then what finally intro. Intro is equal to intro dot value. Okay. So this is done. And once I create the object of, I will just push it. This is how I add it to the array, right? I'll say object. So my second requirement is also done. Then what I'm saying, before this, I should create one table. I will create simple table, okay? Student table. And then table, and then heading. And then in the heading, I should have what are all the things? Name. I should have what are all the things? Name, age, sem, age, and intro, right? So I'll just copy the same thing over here. Age and introduction. Okay. And T body should be dynamically added. So this is what my requirement, right? So what I'll do, I'll get it here, where T body is equal to document dot get elements by tag name. Since I have not specified any properties, I'll just say T body. Okay. And I need the first occurrences of it. Okay, now we got it. Now you know how to create elements and all. 1 second. Sorry guys, actually some emergency task is there. So I have to get back. So shall I continue this one tomorrow? Please respond. Thank you so much for attending the session. Have a great day. Thank you. Thanks for your patience too.
Amar?
Yes, Tirunal.
Can we hand up?
Yeah, you can.